everyone. I am so excited. It is week 2, and we are going to be doing some journaling tonight. And I hope that you caught our discussion from last week. If not, feel free to go back and check that out. After you check out this one, they can be consumed together or individually. It's totally up to you, but definitely make sure that you check out our first journaling session from last Thursday. So I'm really excited about tonight. We are going to be continuing our discussion about faith. Last week, we talked about ways to grow our faith, affirmations for that. And so today I have chosen from day 13 in the Faith Goals Guided Journal. And that prompt says, what unexpected news has fueled your faith or challenged your faith within the last couple of weeks or the month, and why? And so this one is really personal, right? So it's asking you, what are those things that have really propelled you and made you feel good about your faith and your growth? And what are those things that have kind of challenged you and made you question your faith, and what you're doing and how you're doing it, right? And it's an important prompt because it really requires that you sit down, that you be still, and you dig deep, right? So we're not talking about just the superficial things like, I had a good day at work today, nobody bothered me. We're talking about the things that really put you into this state of, God, I am growing in this area. I feel pushed to go further in this area. But also those things that, God, this is confusing me. This is causing me to go backwards and feel like, I'm not understanding you. I don't get what it is that you're wanting to do. And that is key because you want to be honest with yourself about your progress, whatever that may be. And this is not a judgmental prompt. This is an introspective prompt for you to sit back and to create these lists and be very, very thorough in your list. Like, okay, today my faith was propelled because I got a call for an opportunity that I've been praying about for over a year. Or today, my sibling got saved. Or last week, my children realized the importance of their relationship with God on their own. Like, there are things that really will fuel and propel your faith that you want to identify. And I'm going to tell you why in a second. But there are also going to be things that are going to challenge you. And they're going to make you step back and be like, what is this? This is not in the cards. This is not what we discussed, God. What are you doing? It can be a call from the doctor with a diagnosis that you were not expecting. It could have been a call from a family member that's saying, hey, there's some things that are happening. I really need your help. And you can feel overwhelmed by that. There could be some instances where you feel that you are at capacity and you're unsure about how you're going to accomplish the things that he's told you to do. As in, God, like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And so it's challenging your faith, and you're going to want to write those down and identify them. And the reason I'm telling you to write them down is, one, you want to write down the good things because they're really good reminders for you. They will help you to see that God is in the details and God is never stopping. And so even those things that seem huge for some may seem small to others, and vice versa. But you want to have this list that you can go back and review later when things really get tough. But you also want to identify those areas that you seem to find to be challenging or disruptive to the plan that you have, because it will help to identify to you what your actual mentality is concerning your relationship with God. Because we're not really talking about the situations. That stuff is going to be handled, right? We're talking about, do you trust that God is who he says he is? And so when you look at that list, are those challenges really what you're questioning? Or is it God's faithfulness? Is it God's ability? Is it God's goodness? Is it his discernment of your actual needs? It's important to have these lists because it can help you to really quantify what you're considering to be challenges, and then it will help you to see what goodness actually looks like. And goodness is in the everyday. It's in the small things. It's in the big things. It's in the things that most people overlook. And so when you're thinking about these challenges, you have something to combat it right over here. And by writing it out, it's easier for you to identify those things. It's easier for you to connect with those things. It's also easier for you when you're talking to God to be clear with Him about, God, I am so thankful for these. I honor these things. I'm grateful for these spaces that you have created for me. And God, I need some guidance in these areas because I'm unsure. I find these to be challenging, and I'm thinking I'm finding it to be challenging because I haven't trusted you to handle it. Or I'm finding it to be challenging because I'm not sure that there is goodness that can be found out of these situations. Or I'm finding it to be challenging because I'm not sure that you actually know what my capacity is, God. Like, I can't handle all of this. And being very clear with Him, like, these things give me insight into what these things are. Give me insight into what these things are. And when you ask Him for that, I think then it becomes clearer to you and it becomes more sustainable in your conversations and your relationship with Him because you have something that you're actually talking to about. You're not going around in circles. You're very clear. These are the things that are happening. These are the things that I'm concerned about. These are the things that are challenging. And I say it's sustainable because you don't feel like you're hitting your head against a brick wall. You think you're having a clear and concise conversation. And that makes a difference because then He can give you clear and concise answers, right? Because He can remind you, I have done these things over here. I have proven myself over and over again, and I didn't have to do it, but I did it anyways. And so you're worried about these things. Why? And then you can begin to have this conversation with Him and this deepening of your relationship with Him that you would not have if you had not really sat down and thought about the goodness and the concerns. Right? And so that's what day 13 is all about. It's the unexpected news that fueled your faith or challenged your faith. And you want to do both. You want to be introspective, you want to be intentional, and you want to be thorough. And you want to do this more than once. It's not something that you have to do one time and forget about it. I suggest doing this every week. I know that one of my friends, she has a gratitude journal. And so she writes down those things that she's grateful for in the day and during the week so she can review it and really talk to God about those things and then those things that she has concerns about. So I would suggest doing this weekly so that you can be clear on how God is moving on your behalf every day. And then those things that you think that He hasn't moved on, then you can begin to question why you think He hasn't moved. Why is it that He can do these things and not these? Why do we trust Him with this and not this? So there's going to be some things that are fueling your faith on their own. And there's going to be some things that are challenging your faith. But I am going to encourage you to see those challenging moments as extra fuel. These are areas where God is also going to show up strong. And you have to trust Him in that space. And because you're going to trust Him, He's going to add a little oomph to your tank. He's going to add a little oomph to your tank. That's amazing. Can you believe that? Like, when we think about how easy it is to get caught up in what something looks like or what it feels like. And God is like, I'm not bound by that. I made you a promise. I'm not a man that I should lie. I created all things, and every plan that I have for you is good. I'm not bound by your emotions or your feelings. I'm bound by my word. And if I have said that I will do something, I will hasten to perform it. I will hasten to perform it. And just because it looks like He's not moving fast based on our time, doesn't mean that He's not moving fast on His. And that's the only timetable that matters. That's it. That's it. So today was a really, really quick prompt because I really want you to go ahead and do that. I want you to take some time tonight to write out those lists. So write out the things that have fueled your faith and write out those things that have challenged your faith in the past week, past month. Do that. Take the time tonight because obviously we're not going to be on for 30 minutes tonight. So you have about 15 more minutes that we have set aside that I want you to use to write out these lists. And I want you to be very thorough and very intentional. And then I want you to spend some time with God about them. I want you to talk to Him about it. I want you to listen to him as he responds. And I want you to clear your heart and your mind of any distractions that keeps you from trusting his answers. Okay, that's it. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I can't wait for next week. It'll be our last session together, but it's going to be amazing. And again, if you are wanting to get your own copy of the Faith Goals Guided Journal, click the link below and you can grab that, or you can go to petrapendo.com/shop. It has been incredible spending time with you all tonight. I cannot wait to see you next week, and I hope that you are enjoying the group. Love you all. Bye.